We're here today at St Thomas's Church, Pendleton, better known to generations of Salfordians as Pengy Church. I'm joined by Lee Craven MBE, who's been associated with the church for 40 years and is a church warden, and he's kindly agreed to tell me about the history of the church and give us a guided tour.
Yes, the church was built in 1832 and funded by government. It's built mainly for the men from the Battle of Waterloo, so it's a Waterloo church. We have a crypt and a set of 8 bells set on 2 sets of 4. We have an east window which is literally blown out in the wall. The main top there is the original windows. Couldn't afford to do that. A lot of regeneration of the church has happened over the years. New walls been built in. Previously we had a narthex put in. So a lot of history within Pendleton. And say, as you said before, it's better known as Pengy Church. People don't know what St Thomas's is. And we've got some 2,500 graves and bodies, and bodies within the crypt and also in the yard, which is mainly covered up by grass.
I've got to ask you this, Black Douglas.
Yes.
I believe he's buried here.
Well, he's not buried here, his plaque's here.
Yeah.
His plaque's up on the top gallery, which I'll show you later on. And the family actually paid for that plaque to be put into church. In those days, it was accepted, despite what he'd done in his mills with the young children, it was accepted because they gave money to church, quite a lot of money to churches. So his plaque is up here, partly for the safety, because the original stone was demolished and broken up.
Is this one in Brindle Heath?
It is, yeah, it's one in Brindle Heath. So his plaque's up at the top there, so I can show you that later on. And it was quite an interesting read as well.
Lee, behind us is the war memorials for the fallen of Salford from World War I. It's known as the Pendleton 500.
Correct, yeah. Originally these were in the main chancel of the church. In the late 80s, the priest of the day, Reverend Tim Ellis, had them removed due to fear of dry rot. These are obviously retained because of the local history we have. So we call it the Pendleton 500. There's 500 names on there. And one of our cameramen who stood here, his great-grandfather's on there apparently, so it's quite, a lot of people don't know it's here. So we made sure we retain this within the main chapel.
And also in the grounds of the church, you've got a war memorial.
That's correct, yeah.
Is that just a general war memorial?
It's just a general war memorial, yeah. Obviously we use that on the Sunday and special services, yeah.
There's also graves of several soldiers outside of it.
Yes, 2 war graves at the bottom end of you probably see them later on, bottom of the yard.
This is fabulous, isn't it? No,
yes.
Not many people would know this was here in situ.
Well, we're involved with the Veterans Breakfast Club, so we get a lot of veterans coming in here and they're quite excited looking at this. And a lot of people have found names of the family here, so it is actually men from Pendleton within the area, yeah. And this church was built in the original land called Pendleton Green. That's what it originally was called.
Lee, this is the memorial tablet to William Douglas. Could you tell us why it's situated upstairs in the galleries?
Well, originally it was situated downstairs before the renovation in the 70s, the walls being put in. This was paid for by the family at the time because the original grave in Brindle Heath was vandalised because of the evil he did in the mills of the children. In the day, even though despite what he'd done, in the day, the family gave a lot of money to the churches, and this was one of the churches that benefited from it. So therefore, this plaque stayed here, well, originally downstairs, but it comes in here now. And people can't understand why that's happened, but they were a very wealthy family.
So basically, you're saying if you've got money, it can not atone for your sins, but it's ironic that he's also noticed he's got 3 daughters who died relatively young. And with his record of how children died.
And his mansion was originally in Douglas Green, which is dug up like a few years ago. A bit of a tour there, so it was quite eerie, to tell the truth. But so that remains in here. A lot of people do talk about Black Douglas.
It's supposed to be rides around as they
it's supposed to be, yeah.
Should we have a look at some more of the tablets and the architecture? Lee, these windows behind me, notice that they're covered with wireproof glass, aren't they? What's that for?
It stops people falling, really, Tony. Cause it's just a bit health and safety issue. But recently, we had the windows on the other side, outside, the protected glass windows were deteriorating because the sun's on them 24/7. So we had them removed through some funding we had. Fortunately, as we were doing the works, this moulding here, the concrete moulding, started moving.
Right.
So obviously it was dangerous, so we had to corner off downstairs and out on the outside and scaffolding. So it cost the church a lot more money, but again we got some funding for that. So thankfully that was...
So have all the windows been cut?
No, it was just these two windows, these two set of windows. Probably, I don't know why, could have been more damage over the years, we don't know. But anyway, they're secured in now. So.
Right, so they're safe for
yeah, normally you find these faults as you start taking things away. So we've got new protected glass at the front now.
Great stuff. We're in the belfry at Pendleton Church, St Thomas's, with Lee, and I'm amazed at the boards telling you about the bell ringing competitions, the peal majors, etc. The board behind me is a commemorative board for the Diamond Jubilee of Queen Victoria. I've just been speaking to Lee, and he's got some, I think, the humorous anecdotes about the bell tower. One concerns Queen Victoria. Are we allowed to discuss that?
Yes, if you can do, Tony. Matthew Deasy's son, one of his sons came up here to shoot some of the pigeons that got in the tower with his pellet gun, and unfortunately he shot at Queen Victoria's face. So if you look very carefully, you see her face has been filled in, unfortunately. But we had some other good stories in this tower. Our former MP Hazel Players came along one day, and after our former tower captain said about the bells, the weights, etc. And he had one of these bells, and he said, it's very easy to ring. So he put it on what we call the tenor bell, which is the heaviest bell behind you there, Tony, which weighs nearly a ton. And she puts her two hands on it and dangles from it, and she couldn't move it. And my friend said, and you call that equality, and he's just doing that, and eventually we told her what had happened. So it was a bit of fun with that. Yeah. The windows here, if you can see the windows, we've got some stained glass windows put in. These are on the staircase on either side of the tower, as well as in the main tower. There's 7 in total, and these were put in remembrance of Matthew Dees, who's very well known in the 70s here at Pendleton, and his daughter Rowena and their families still come to this church. So a lot of people do talk highly of Matthew Dees, and he was a portrait to the war veterans as well. So yes, he was very well known. So that's what those windows are in there for.
Lee, we're here now in the clock tower, what do you call it? Would it be the correct?
Yeah, clock chamber.
Now we were just fortunate enough to hear the bells ring 12. It was a great experience for me.
Very loud.
Very loud indeed. Could you tell us a little bit about the area that we're in now?
Well, firstly, I'm a bit deaf now because of this bell, so I'll just stop my ears out. Yes, we've got 3 clock faces, as you notice. And when the clocks change, summer and spring, it's an automatic done within this chamber in here. And mechanism in there, and we just turn this smaller clock version inside there, so it changes the hands. As long as you know what the time the hour's on, you roughly got the idea. Above us, we've got sets of 8 bells on 2 sets of 4 evens and odds, and the biggest bell weighing the ton, as I said before, which is just above us here. And then we've got the entrance to the lower roof here, and then up the top there, which we can't do because of health and safety. That again then goes to the top of the tower, which is amazing views up there, but on a day like this we wouldn't like to do that. But yeah, so this is where all the bells are up here, just above us, yeah.
I've got to say, in my naivety, I always thought there was 4 clock faces to the church.
Well, if you look
I'd have lost money on the bet.
Well, if you look at the back of the tower, Tony, because of the lower roof, you wouldn't see the clock anyway. It'd be impossible to see the clock, so probably that's why. And you look at our churches, they're similar. We not get a back clock because you can't see it, so it's pointless putting them in.
Right.
And that's why we've only got the 3 faces.
I've learnt something today, Lee.
Well, you learn everything, Tony.
I do. I've got the lead.
Now, if you look very carefully to either side as you go down, you see a lot of other little arch doors.
Yeah.
And they'll go into the gallery roof, where the gallery was. We climbed down that into the gallery.
Right.
It's very tight fit in there. But we insulated this about 28, 30 years ago, and we found skeletons of pigeons in there, pipes.
What does this say? Linton. What? Willingdon 72. 1907.
It's when they were doing the works, probably when they're doing the dry rock works.
Right.
What the workmen were like.
Can I put MUFC on?
So you had things like, we found cigarette packets,
Yeah.
pipes,
Did you?
skeletons of pigeons, yeah.
Carl, can you make out there's some writing there? No.
Oh yeah.
Salford Online.
W.
That's what I thought.
O. W O. Hang on. Is that one there?
That's old, isn't it? Yeah.
W O. No, I can't see the thing, you know. I think it just says W O. It looks like there's a W there, but it's not. Look, you see it there.
Yeah, it's
W.
a scratch in it, yeah.
It's just a scratch.
This could have been the workman's. I think it could have been that, Lee, the workman's.
Yeah, I think when we were doing the dry rock in the 50s, you had some dry rock to put and there's pictures of them somewhere with them doing the works.
This
So
is
what-
1906, isn't it?
What's this for? Is this for the?
That goes on the low roof, that's the entrance to the low roof section of the church.
Oh right.
It's quite, I can open it, but it's really heavy.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Like protected and
We're worried about getting back down yet.
And I'm scared of heights as well. So
No,
that's,
but-
I think it's useful.
near there. There's lights at the bottom.
Right at the end of the tunnel.
Right, go on the crypt.
We will.
Then that's done.
Can't make out what that says. But this one, I can't make the chap's name out. Pendleton, 1833. And he's actually, his remains are interred
yeah.
inside there. And I just said to Lee then in a whispered voice, is he in there? Not Peter Kay, but quite irreverent. But it's amazing that, and this one here, John Lord, 1856, of Buell Hill, Pendleton, who died on the 3rd of February 1860. That's James Lord. These are amazing, aren't they? And just to think he's a couple of feet away from me in a lead coffin. Well, they go back, don't they?
Yeah.
They're a bit spooky.
No, 20, well, about 30 years ago, no lighting down here.
Okay. Well, this particular vault, Lee, it's got a metal gate on it. Would that be to deter body snatchers, do you think?
We presume that's Tony, that's what we think it is for. There's no other explanation for it. Unfortunately, there's no name above it. Obviously, it'd be in the records somewhere, so
Yeah.
unfortunately, there's no name to that. But we presume that's for that reason.
Is this the only one that's got a
It's the
a
only
gate
one,
on it?
yeah. It's the only one, yeah.
Right. This arched vault here is presumably would have stored 9 bodies, and there's 4 in. Now this here, Lee, could you tell me what the significance of that?
Yeah, the millennium year 2000, we decided to put a capsule down in the crypt, and time capsule, and we researched the vaults and realised there was nothing in this section. You can't see across there, so we decided to put all information about tapes, videos, CDs, etc. And it's just laid on this plinth behind there, so we laid it in there. This gentleman here called James Sharp, he was a butler in Pendleton. He left a bequest of the bread for the Pendleton, the starving people of Pendleton. That bequest is still up and alive, and we still use that for modern things like the homeless and people seeking help. So we still use that.
His legacy lives on.
His legacy lives on, and he's got a cask around the corner, a wooden cask, which I'd like to bring back up to church and clean up. I'll show you that later. Yeah. He left that for church, so that's been there since.
And this one here, it's quite a huge, it's a rather sad one, isn't it? With a 15-month-old child in there.
But in the day, that's quite a lot of children are.
Yeah, infant mortality rates.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah,
it was quite common.
Samuel Nichols, Esquire of Belmont, Pendleton, departed this life April the 16th, 1843, aged 51. Catherine, his wife, departed this life November the 29th, 1863, aged 64 years. Annie Tweedale, infant daughter, 15 months. Sad. All history though. Right.
Now directing.
There's faith that way.
That's the.
I did have a look at pencils, not before.
These are St Anne's.
What are they?
War memorials of St Anne's.
Oh, dear.
Founder of this church
Not this one.
and benefactors of the parish.
She's not from this parish, it's this
What's it
church.
saying?
It's Chaseley, Pendleton.
Margaret Haywood.
Oh yeah, the
Founder
Haywoods.
of this church.
Yeah, the Haywoods.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Right.
Haywoods. Yeah. Didn't know that was in there.
Lee, I've just come across these in one of the unused vaults, shall we say.
Yeah.
And they look like war memorials. Where are they
Yeah,
from?
they are, Tony. I believe they are actually from St Anne's, Brindle Heath. My wish is for them to be cleaned up and taken back upstairs for viewing, hopefully. But yes, they are from St Anne's.
So these would be parishioners who fell in the Great
Yeah,
War?
yes. They were stored here for safety reasons. So they're not actually lost.
No.
They're not actually lost, so we've got them here. So I would like to bring them up.
This memorial was erected by fellow worshippers and friends in 1920. There's 2 of them, isn't there?
Yeah.
The names of poor Salfordians who fell in the Great War.
As I said, the good thing is they've not been lost.
No.
They remain within the area.
It'd be lovely to be seen.
Exactly.
Cleaned up, like the ones upstairs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's something we want to look into
Yeah,
and restoring them.
fabulous. What are these, Lee? These wooden chocks or whatever they are. There's a rather large selection of floor tiles which have been sold from St Thomas's Church in Brindle Heath, long gone. I was looking at them and I did actually think they were Minton, only because I watch a lot of antique programmes. And lo and behold, Minton's patented Stoke-on-Trent. What a lovely reminder. I had trouble getting the grouting off, but really pleased they've been kept. Yeah, lovely. This water pipe, presumably, could you tell me where that leads to?
Well, we believe, it's not concrete evidence, Tony, but we do believe it goes to the old water fountain right at the bottom of the graveyard. A lot of people see there, and a lot of pictures of children drinking water from that. So don't quote me on that, but we think that's where it goes.
Right. Makes sense though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it goes that way, and there's only one way out, and it's that way. We're at the back end of the church now.
Right.
We can't go any further than that. So yeah, that's what we believe.
That's a little piece of history.
It is,
then.
yeah.
Look at this. Not getting paid for this, you know. But that won't make the cut. I've just come across this unusual memorial metal, I don't know what you'd call it really. It reads, "To the glory of God and in loving memory of Mary Jane, wife of James Henry Schofield, an elder daughter of Ralph Ramstron," it looks like. Born December the 28th, 1843, died September the 12th, 1881.
That's the date. That's today's date.
No.
September 12th.
September the 12th today. Is that when she died?
Yeah.
And we videoed
We're
it.
videoing it now.
So how many years is it since?
1881. 81 from 60.
36, 33.
Tony does maths.
It was a while ago.
35.
Can you mention that we filmed it on this day? We've just come across these in the vault, crypt. These 3 headstones. Now, we're not sure where they're from, are we, Lee?
No, this crypt used to be for many years, used to be a diocesan storage for redundant churches. A lot of the equipment was taken out, but the other little things were left. And obviously these were, because these were never in the graveyard of St Thomas's in Pendleton, so these must have been left behind from a previous church.
It says the name's Stowell. John. Reverend John Runner Stowell. Now, I wonder if he's from Stowell Memorial Church in Salford. And this one here behind me says, bear with me, F. Wilcock Davis, MA, formerly a lieutenant from the Naval Artillery. First rector of this parish, where he laboured 18 years. He died August the 19th, 1874. Was laid to rest in the cemetery at Southport. This tablet is monument of his grace. It's fascinating. Dr. William Grounds Booth. Finally, in the crypt at St Thomas's, this vaulted room with brick floor. And do we think it may have been a private chapel?
Could have been. I've heard a lot of people talk about different churches in a similar layout, Tony, because this is totally different to the rest of the crypt, and it's unique. It's really a unique room. And as Carl was just saying, the camera room was saying himself, like you've seen a lot of churches like this in Wales. Yeah. It probably was something that I've been told one church somewhere they had a similar layout, but concrete altar and a concrete cross in the corner, so I don't know, it could have been, it couldn't have been.
I can imagine the body would have been laid out to rest, say the day or so before it was interred in the vault, and there could have been, this is where the people pay the last respects, and there was a gate there by the look of it, which seems to tie in, doesn't it?
As I said, it's unique in it. You look beyond its crypt and it's his own room that looks just unusual.
Yeah.
It's not the opposite side like this, is it? It's sort of different layout, so it could have been used for many different reasons, but we're not aware of it.
And with a private chapel then? A private resting place?
That's up to you then. I'll see you later. I'll lock up now.
Leave on your own.
I'll leave you on your own, yeah.
We've come across this crucifix in the crypt. What do you know about it?
Well, when we were a young lad, you probably Tim Ellis, it's actually Reverend Tim Ellis, who's now a Suffolk retired bishop for formerly of Grantham. He fought to this idea of making this into a cross, and for 30 odd years or so, we used to put this outside in the main grounds, lift it up on rope, and put it there on Good Friday and leave it there for the full day. We have a service around that. In previous years, we've not really used it. But for 30 odd years it's been used, so that was Tim Ellis's idea. Yeah. Where he got the wood from, Tony, I don't know, but there we go.
I'd say it looks suspiciously like of a building site, but
well,
I'm going no further.
Me neither.
Finally, we're in the graveyard of St Thomas's, How many people are actually interred in this land?
A couple of thousand, looking at the registers. But in the 1970s, what they called it green belting. So originally the graves are, there's about a 2-inch gap between each grave, so all these graves are covered by this grass. In the 60s, I think it was the 60s or 70s, the people in the parish at the time written every inscription down of every grave, so we've got all that listed.
Right.
It's in the archives at Manchester and it's also stored here.
Why have several graves been kept? Is it because they're above ground? Or?
I think it's just to show people that there is graves here, and it made part of the art, what I would call modern architecture then, to show the odd little grave here and there. So that's why I think that these show, it's an impression of these graves here. But it comes in handy for things like fates and stuff like that, so yeah.
Well, Lee, thanks ever so much for showing us around. I've had a wonderful time.
No problems.
It's great. Thanks for
Nice
your
job,
time.
Carl.
No problem.